All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we're the brothers here out of Great Millstone, Atlanta. This is YAHAWAH.
Kabash.
All right, and first and foremost, giving all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, now today is the Pesach, okay, which is the Hebrew word for Passover. All right, and we're just gonna speak a few words concerning the Passover. We believe that this will be a Passover to remember, okay, and this very well could be the last Passover. I know we say that every year, but hey, the prophecies are showing that this very well may be the very final high holy day or Passover. The way things are panning out. Now, when you look at when you look into Exodus, all right, the Lord basically sent plagues upon Egypt, and I want to say the last plague before he took out before he sent the last plague on Egypt, which was the killing the firstborn sons. All right, he told the Israelites to basically do certain things, okay, in order to be exempt from that judgment. All right, and hey, there's a big plague happening right now, which is or pestilence, but that's happening right now, and that's the coronavirus. All right, and we know that history repeats. Okay, now anyway, we'll start with Exodus. If you want to read it, you can.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginnings of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb.
Right, in that first month, contrary to Babylonian calendar, okay, or Esau's calendar, okay, the first month is now, all right, because we keep time according to the lunar calendar. All right, so the spring is the start of the year. Okay,
the month of Bib.
The month of Bib. That's right. So we keep time totally different. All right, January 1st is not the first of the year. All right, it's not the correct first of the year, because Esau keeps it wrong. You can keep going. And you can add to it.
Okay, time. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they should take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, it's like a lamb for an house. Verse 4, And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb should be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye should take it out from the sheep or from the goats. And that still goes on to this day. You still have to apply those things to this day. Like even in this evening, we have to demonstrate the Passover. We just rehearsing the righteous acts, Judges chapter 5, verse 11, until the Lord come back to show our faith. And YAHAWASHI proved that the law still exists. It is perpetual. It's not done away with. It's just mixed with grace, because he had to die. He died for the elect's sake, according to prophecy. He still committed these acts in the time when we was in the Roman captivity.
That's right. And the reason why we keep it today also is because it's symbolic. All right, there's a double meaning, and in the scriptures a lot of time there's a double meaning. All right, and the Passover today, okay, is symbolic. Well, the Passover lamb is symbolic of YAHAWASHI. Yeah. Okay, that's the reason why we keep it today, to this day. And YAHAWASHI even said you know, well, when the Passover before he was delivered up, okay, he basically got with the disciples, and you know, he basically broke it down how it relates to you know, that time. You know, the Passover, how it's symbolic of him. You know, he gave the breakdown on that. You know, you got it.
We say, take this bread, for it's my body. The wine is his blood. And he was that sacrifice, just like you sacrifice a lamb on the high holy days, especially the Passover.
Yep. And that bitterness represents the bondage.
Yep.
You know.
So we really celebrating the salvation of the Most High and YAHAWASHI.
Yeah. Well, really commemorating.
Yeah. In memory, because he laid down his life. He saved Israel for eternity.
Yep.
Ain't no we got to go back and go to the altar and sacrifice a lamb. Nah, he was the lamb.
Right.
Yeah,
you're on point. Yeah, because you know, going back to what you said, that's the reason why it's a solemn assembly. That's the reason why it's a serious thing, is because, well, first of all, it represents YAHAWASHI. The Passover represents YAHAWASHI, and also it's symbolic of us, you know, being delivered out of Egypt, man. You know, when you go into the history, this was a time where the Israelites, you know, they were on edge, man. Yep. You know, everything wasn't all, you know, they weren't all smiling and laughing and you know, rapping,
right?
trying to get out of Egypt, man. This was a serious time, because, you know, they knew that judgment was coming to Egypt.
It was life or death in that point, because we still had to run from them too. Like, we was ahead of them, and the Lord had to depart the sea for us to go through. And through scholars, they said we could have went another way, but the Lord wanted us to go through that particular way to show His power. That was the Most High. That's why the Most High coming back now. So we just commemorating, like the brother said, on the high holy days until He come back to see us or deem us worthy, because we being cleansed by the Lord's blood, YAHAWASHI, by putting it on our foreheads.
That's right. Beautiful.
Our doorpost, which is our mental brain.
Beautiful. You got it.
And it says, verse 6, and ye should keep it unto the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel should kill it in the evening. Verse 7, and they should take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses wherein they should eat it. And they should eat the flesh in the night roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they should eat it.
Yeah, and you know, just like you mentioned, the doorposts, you know, they were to take that blood of the lamb and put it on their doors, all right, so that when the angels come through and sift, all right, you know, they see that blood, then they'll pass over that house. Well, it's going to get into it anyway.
Verse 9, eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast it with fire, his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof. And ye should let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. So that means you ain't supposed to leave no leftover and warm it up tomorrow in the microwave, none of that stuff. You're supposed to eat it in haste, and the stuff that you don't eat, burn it with fire. In other words, just throw it away.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, because they were moving in haste.
Yep.
You know, they didn't have time, and that's the reason why the Lord said, you know, let the bread be unleavened and not to leaven, because leaven takes time. Okay, for the yeast to rise, and you know, they didn't have time. This was symbolic of them, you know, moving quick.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. That was sort of like a fast food type.
Yeah.
type thing, but it was healthy
fast food. Yeah.
Verse 12, it says, verse 11, and thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover.
Yeah, because you know, that loins girded, when you if you look up a Google image of loins girded, okay, it'll show you they would take their garment and wrap it around their waist, all right, so that they can move quicker, you know, because if your garment, you know, our garments would go down to our ankles, you know, or whatever, our legs, you know, so you can't move as quick. If you wrap it around your waist, basically, you know, you can move freely, a little bit more freely. You got it.
And it says, it is the Lord's Passover, for I will pass through the land. This is the breakdown of that word Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. Yeah,
so the Lord said he's gonna pass through. Like the brother said, that's basically the meaning of the word Passover. It literally means the Lord is gonna pass over the judgment from Israel. Okay? Yep. And that Israel would be exempt from the judgment. Yep. All right?
And that's through the saving of YAHAWASHI.
Mm-hmm.
The YAHAWASHI died for us on the cross. Now, it does say that in the Passover, that the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart. Mm-hmm. In Romans chapter 9, the Lord mentions Esau being as Pharaoh. Well, not really. He mentioned really how the Lord has mercy on who he want to have mercy on and who he want to have compassion on. But using this scene in the book of Exodus, he hardened Pharaoh's heart to go against who? Israel, so he can put more hell on us. That's what Esau doing on this side. He's the modern day Pharaoh. And we still committing these acts under him to show you that the Lord still exists. This is like a spit in Esau's face. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 is really taking place. He should stand in great boldness to those that didn't treat him fairly, roughly paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, because we know who we are, we know where we're going, the future. Esau don't want Jake to have no future. So us committing these acts, this is a real important day.
That's right. That's right.
And the rest of this week, the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very important. And you know, this is how we will be exempt from judgment. You know, well, anyone who's you know, serious and involved with being an Israelite, you know, you're going to partake in the Passover. All right, because like the brother said, it is symbolic of YAHAWASHI. But I'll say this: a lot of guys are eating the Passover in vain, because they don't believe in YAHAWASHI. You got a lot of Old Testament Israelites. You got Israelites with off doctrines. You know, so the Passover. I'm just saying this basically is that keeping the Passover alone won't save you.
Right.
YAHAWASHI is going to save you through faith. Scriptures say that. What's that? Ephesians. For by grace you are saved through faith. You know.
Okay.
You ain't got to get it.
Okay.
But yeah, let's keep going and finish up, I guess. Or was that the point? When it was up? Where were you at?
Verse 12.
Okay.
For I would pass through the land of Egypt this night, and would smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
The coronavirus is one of the Lord's judgments too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how you know that this very well may be the final Passover, because right after this Passover, the Lord could just start wiping people out, man. You know, we don't know.
Right.
We don't know, man. You know, so you know, and then prior to this Passover, there's been a lot of you know, plagues and wonders and signs. You know, so many, too many to count. So, like I said, you know, this is why we take things like this seriously, and this is why we do what we do and teach the word and, you know, do things that please the Lord. Because if we don't, then we may be subject to judgment like you 2/3 and heathens, man.
Yeah, because the Lord said, number not yourself amongst the sinners. So we in between straits. For one, we in these chains of darkness. And we can't commit the law 100%, but at the same time, the Lord gave us grace through YAHAWASHI so that we can commit righteous acts to the Lord. That's that's in the so we can commit to the Lord our faith within His walk. This is an important thing, man, that we doing committing the acts of the Passover. Because you get a blessing during the Passover. Ain't no telling what the Lord gonna turn up, which He already turning up everything with this diseases coming out. Then you got the Spanish flu and everything. Man, World War III is on the horizon. Like Trump was just in Atlanta Friday. All these things happening around the Passover.
Yep.
Remember, YAHAWASHI got assassinated. Well, not assassinated. He got persecuted around the Passover.
That's right.
On the night of the Passover. So a lot of things. This is a real heavy day.
Yep. Keep going. We can finish up.
Okay, go.
I guess we'll end at 17.
Okay, go. Verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep in a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. So we got to keep this all the way to this time, because the Lord is always living. It says, you shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And you don't want a lot of jakes big. They cut off from Israel. I mean, 2/3 in particular. In this particular time, all Israel was on point with the laws. I mean, we had no excuse. And it says, verse 16, and in the first day there should be an holy convocation, and that means a gathering. And in the 7th day there should be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat. That only may be done of you. Because tonight is the Sabbath too, but it's the Passover, so we get to commit this act. Meaning cook the lamb, stuff like that. And it says right here, verse 17, ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, but in this self same day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by ordinance forever. So this is an order from the Most High, and we got to keep it forever.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so it's meant to be. That's the reason why we keep it to this day. And that's like I said, we went into the importance of it. We went into how it connects to YAHAWASHI. We're gonna keep also the feast of unleavened bread as well. And continue to push. So that the Lord can pass over us. We want to be found worthy, and we want to receive that salvation as well. So that's the reason. If anyone asks, why we do these things, then that's the answer. It's because the Lord commanded us to keep these high holy days forever. All right, and it's a beautiful thing that the Lord uses us to keep this tradition alive. Okay, in a world where Israel has left all their customs and basically forgotten everything, but we're bringing back our culture. We're bringing back our high holy days or holidays, commemorating these things. All right, so we'll close with that. We're getting ready to go to camp, but we'll end off by giving all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone. Shalom.
Shalom.